I speak unto thee this day, and I say, when men and women are full of high-mindedness and pride as they are in these wicked times, what do? I say they abuse me, I say they accuse me, and I say that they lose me, yet I say they imagine they are still all right with me. And I say it is because they are so far from me. I say they cannot hear me when I cry. That is, when I cry unto them to repent, when I call unto them to bow down, I say they stubbornly and proudly refuse the same. For I say they are full of all manner of worldliness, ungodliness, rather than being filled by me. That is, they have taken themselves down a way that is far from the truth, far from the light, and they love it so. And I say they have taken themselves in a way that is nothing but their own evil desire and lust fulfilled, and they claim that it is me. But I say that the truth of it is not me that they serve at all. But I say they are serving a multitude of other gods, other lovers, other masters, and yes, they are loving it so. And I say they are serving the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, they are serving the world. And I say all the while they lay claim that they are my people, yet I say they are far from me. For I say they have strayed far from my way, and it is not me that they seek to please at all. Now I say that I, the living God, never called men to such a condition, but I say they put themselves there. That is, they have put themselves in such a way because they are far from me. That is, they have put themselves in that which will take them into a ditch, a mire of their own making. And I say they have done that because they prefer the lust of the flesh over being consecrated unto me. Now I say that I, the living God, do not call thee to walk afar off, then act as though it is my fault that you are dead within. But I say that I call thee to enliven yourselves by staying alert in me. That is, by seeking to keep me as the one that you love with all of your heart, and the one that you purpose yourself to please rather than your own selves. For I say, when a man turns aside from me to worship the god of self, then I say that the world moves in upon him. And I say that he will find himself making agreement with things that he once stood against. And he will find himself gradually slipping into the abyss of compromise. And I say in the process of it all, he will become a lover of the world rather than me. And I say that he will love to please himself, love to obey the commands of self, and I say he will despise my way. Now I say, if you find those elements surfacing in thee, consider this. Are you feeding the world, or are you feeding me? That is, are you seeking those things that are well-pleasing unto me, or are you seeking for the fulfillment of fleshly lust? For I say, if you find that you do not have desire for my way, I say it is because you are allowing self to take over in thee. And I say it is because you are allowing yourself to be swayed by the world rather than be under my instruction. For I say that I, the living God, have given the command, I've given the admonition that my own people are meant to continually deny themselves. Yet I say that the self, the beast within, is always there attempting to usurp authority in your lives. And I say, when you pay heed to self, you will consider the things that I require of thee to be weariness, dreariness, and drudgery, because you are loving the way of self. Now I say this day, if you put self to denial, if you refuse to obey self, then I say your desire for me will be rekindled. I say you will find that the things of the world no longer are satisfaction unto thee, but I say they are cheap and vile toys. That is, you will no longer desire to play with those things that only contaminate your relationship unto me. Now I say that I, the living God, do not call thee to be recidivist criminals, that is, returning again and again and again to bow at the throne of self. But I say that I call thee to know, understand, and realize that self is the lifelong enemy of my purpose in thee. And I say that I do not call thee to go for a while in me, then return to the bondage of self and be enslaved all over again. But I say that I call thee to resolve it within yourself, that you will not cheat and lie and scheme to yourself about the lust that you are seeking to fulfill. But I say you will declare war upon those things rather than succumbing unto them. Now I say it is me, the living God, who does purpose my people to walk uprightly, to come forth in the truth, the strength of who I am. And I say it is me, the living God, who does purpose my people to be ever guided in that which I intend and provide. For I say it is me, the living God, who is indeed the way of righteousness, the way of truth, and the way of mercy provided. And it is me, the living God, who will purpose thee, that you can indeed be kept always by me. Therefore I say this day, be accepting of my purposing, be accepting of my standard and my dictates unto thee. I say, do not be as the man who is full of adultery in his heart, who is always sneaking a peek at something that is not intended for him. But I say, instead, regard the world and the fleshly lust as enemies of my purpose, and stay aligned with me. For I say, you are not meant to have eyes full of adultery for the world and for the fulfillment of self in your life. But I say, you are meant to know and understand that you are meant to be my prisoners and remain the same. That is, that you are meant to be in the captivity of the mind of my spirit, and thankful to be guided by me. I say, if only men would realize how dangerous it is to have flirtation with any other god. That is, to yield themselves over to flirtation with the world, with the love of self, and with the promotion of those things that are vile before me. For I say that all of those sources of power bring nothing but death unto the man who had the desire for me. And I say that he will find himself fed up, disgusted, with no interest at all, because he is eating of the world. Now I say that I, the living God, do not call you to eat of the world, not in any of its disguises. For I say that it will come in enticing packages, it will seek to entertain and enchant thee and lead thee astray. But I say that I, the living God, have called thee to be ever faithful, loyal, and true unto me, that you do not end under my wrath. For I say there are multitudes in this wicked generation. I say they are under my wrath because they have departed from me. That is, because they have gone a-whoring, they have given themselves over to the vanities, the vexations, the stupidities of the world. Now I say this day, do not be found guilty of consorting with the world, do not be found guilty of bowing to the god of self. But I say, instead, be found ever faithful and true unto me, seeking for my way. For I say it is me, the living God, who will cause thee to be uplifted, directed, and guided forth, for yes, you are mine. And I say it is me, the living God, who has spared thee from the damnation of hell, and I say that I have spared thee for my own purpose. That is, I have not spared thee that you could live a comfortable, self-indulgent life and claim that it is me. But I say that I've spared thee that you could indeed be faithful and true unto me, bearing much fruit and doing what it is that I command of thee. For I say, when it is me that you will continue to look to believe, to trust, to obey, you are brought forth in my way. And I say you are given the blessedness of truth that I provide, ever make glad in me. Now I say this day that it is me, the living God, who does desire to possess my people in the inward parts. That is, I am not satisfied with an external show, a routine, a rut that they get in and love it so. For I say, when men keep their inward man far from me, what is it that they do? I say they preserve the very element of death, destruction, and damnation, and love it so. Now I say you are not meant to be preserving that which will destroy thee and cause your soul to be damned. But I say you are meant to be yielding the territory unto me and giving up the enemies of my purpose in your life. You are not meant to be in allegiances, in pacts, in covenant with demon spirits, not at all. But I say you are meant to be thoroughly aligned with me. Now I say, when I, the living God, do show thee idolatry, when I show thee adultery, when I show thee things that are not pleasing unto me, do you cling to the same? I say, do you spring to the defense of the things that are the enemy of my purpose in thee? I say, are you ever so proud and so full of your own understanding that you cannot accept reproof? I say, are you walking afar off from the light and loving it so? that you can indeed continue in the hidden works of darkness and imagine somehow you get by. I say this day, do not be swept up in such foolish thinking and imagine somehow you get by on me. But I say no, understand and realize that I, the living God, desire to possess thee even in the realm of your thoughts. That is, that you bring those things into subjectivity unto me, that you do not run wild, that you do not live in an imaginary world whereby you fabricate tales and believe the same. For I say there are many who are my people who shall be sadly disappointed when they stand before me, for they will not be found acceptable unto me. For I say they have given themselves to divers lusts, they have yielded to temptations, and they have loved the world. And I say all the while they thought if they merely muttered my name, that gave them the ticket in. But I say the truth of it is they are not found acceptable because they are not walking uprightly in me. I say there is no free ticket in, but a man must indeed walk out his salvation in fear and trembling unto the day that he's presented unto me. Therefore I say, do not grow lazy, do not grow hazy, and think somehow you can get by. That is, do not take up things that you put aside in times past and think that now they are all right. For I say, if they were indeed a danger, if they were indeed coming from the throne of death rather than the throne of life, their basic nature remains. And I say, foolish is the man who thinks he can maintain and finds himself slipping away. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do give thee the directive, I give thee the instruction, I say, pay heed to the same. That is, do not be as the foolish who are easily swayed from my way. And I say, do not think you can conspire against me, imagine evil against me, and mutter continually about what it is that I desire to see in thee, and not be fulfilling unto me. For I say, when you choose such a way, you are choosing the way of death rather than life. Now I say, it is me, the living God, who gives to my own the straight and narrow way, that they can come forth rejoicing in me. Now I say, if I, the living God, did take you through a land where plagues and sicknesses, diseases, and even robbers and murderers were rampant, and I gave thee a pathway of safety, would you be so wise in your conceit that you could deviate from the same? That is, would you be so smart in your own ability to understand things that you would throw off the way that I provided of safety and go out into the middle of the same? That is, go out into the middle of the disease, the plagued land, the sicknesses, the murderers, the thieves, the robbers, and all that was vile in the land. I say, would you wade out as though you knew so much more, or would you stay in the pathway of safety? I say, so it is that I, the living God, do give to thee the straight and narrow way, which is the path of safety. And I say, if you walk therein, you are kept, for I keep my hand over thee. But I say, if you deviate, if you wander off, if you think you are some big thing, when you are not, you are proven to be the fool. And do not think that you are so invincible that the forces of darkness and evil and sickness, disease, and death cannot grab hold of thee. For I say that I, the living God, do give warning, and I say that I give the way wherein my people are meant to walk. But I say, if my people are inwardly living in contempt and disrespect of me, they will not stay in that way. But I say they will ever be finding ways to flirt with the very elements that will prove to be death and damnation unto them. And I say all the while they think they get by, oh, what fools they are. I say, do not try to get by, but I say, try to serve me with all of your heart. Try to serve me with thanksgiving and gladness and walk in my way. And I say, do not be so foolish as to eat of death and wonder why you feel dead.